Kilty Southside London Stadium, West Ham fans. Brian, do you feel well done by that result, or you feel that was fair?
Nah, it's a fair result. Listen, I take it before the game. I called it. I said 2-2. I think it was a game of two halves. I think if we look at the positives, I think first half we were fantastic. Positional sense was really good. We played with aggression today, real aggression, trying to break up the play, and we was in Newcastle's faces. I think with the positional play that we had, Newcastle didn't have any real answers, so therefore their front three were dropping deep. All three of them, Almiron, Isak, Anderson, they're all dropping deep to receive the ball, and they didn't really have any answers. And then basically with playing that press, I think this goes on to the negatives now. Towards the end of the first half, the last 5 minutes of the first half, we run out of steam, and you can kind of sort of see players were being a bit laboured, and it was starting from the front. Antonio and the rest, they were not sort of pressing the ball, but it was because they were knackered. Combination of the heat and just the exertion of what they put in. So with the second half now, and for me, Newcastle had their toes up, and we need to remember, Newcastle are a quality team. You know, they're what we're aspiring to in terms of they had a really good season last year, and they're in the Champions League. So they're playing with that sort of confidence, like we're a better team than West Ham. Do you know what I mean? Second half, they stepped it up. They stepped it, their midfield basically stepped it up, which means they started to dominate and overrun us, and we had no real answers for that. And I think with the negatives, we run out of steam to begin with, and that was evident in what we could see. I think the ref was shocking.
First goal, was it? It wasn't their foul, was it?
I mean, look, we ain't got the advantage of replays and all that kind of stuff, so I haven't seen none of it back, but the fact of the matter is he wasn't consistent with his decisions, particularly when he's yellow carding people. So
Ramirez?
Yeah, this is what I'm saying. So his performance was shocking. I think we made the substitutions too late. I was watching David Moyes, and the thing is, he was sort of thinking about it for 15, 20 minutes, speaking to the team, making notes, scribbling what he was going to do. It was very evident that Antonio is still carrying. He won't fit because he was conserving his energy. He wasn't running and pressing all the time because he's not fit. So when we did make the change, there was a difference. Obviously, the man Kudus came
What a performance.
Oh, what a performance. And what we're now seeing as well is that if you have all of those guys on, yeah, so, you know, your FIFA team, you know, a team you would pick if you're playing sort of a computer game, you've got all your flair players on, your Ben Ramas, your Paquetás, your Kudus, etc. But what you do see is when all those guys are on, there's a fluidity for pretty much most of that, the last half of the second half. Paquetá was actually pretty much playing as centre forward, and I think that was a strategy which worked because he was on that yellow card, and his hold-up plays amazing because he's a strong guy, so he can bring all those runners into play. But you see the fluidity of Kudus, Bowen, they're all having a go in that centre row and going wide. But that goal was quality, left foot, bang, like an arrow. I think, you know, with not losing that game and going into the international break, maintaining our place in 7th, I think it's fantastic. We've had a solid week with Europe and this in the league. When we were talking on the podcast and we were looking at sort of like the next 6 games, this was probably the one we sort of said, you know what, yeah, we might lose that one, you know what I mean? So to not lose and sort of get confidence, give the players confidence, I think, you know, it's fantastic. So hopefully, you know, after the international break, we can just sort of pick up where we left on. The results above us were interesting as well today, but I think a draw was a fair result because I think Newcastle probably shaded it, and I think we had our moments.
Yeah, absolutely.
Some good goals.
All right, great, mate. Thank you very much. See you in the podcast.